Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, everybody. That's me clapping it up for myself right now. Welcome to the Owl Show right here on BKS1 Radio. It's your girl, Latoya Chanel. I'm here. I'm a little late, just experiencing some technical difficulties, which I've been experiencing a lot lately. But you know what? It's all a part of me getting back into the swing of things, all a part of me getting back to the station, getting back to the studio, and getting back to the show so I can talk to all of you all right here at BKS1 Radio. But I'm here now, and we're good, and I'm ready to talk to y'all, and I need y'all to go on ahead and make sure y'all are talking back to me, and I'm ready to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. As you know, for those who have been watching for the last month, because I came back last month, yes, I had a bit of a hiatus, but I came back the beginning of last month. It was the first Tuesday in March. And since then, we have been talking about the healing journey, everybody. Now, I know. This is not going to be, and I've been explaining that on a weekly basis, and hopefully you're seeing it's not this crunchy granola yoga, type vibe that's going on. Although, I wouldn't mind a crunchy granola yoga type vibe with the show, but, we're a little different here. We're a little more upbeat here, and we talk about things a little more in depth here. So anyway, my point is we have been talking about the healing journey, and we have been talking about a personal journey. So prior to now, all the other years that I've done the show, and I've had my partner, Miss Queen Bee, shout out to her, on the show, sending her love and light and good vibes right now. But we were just talking about healing as a community, healing as a people, priding ourselves on asking the tough questions that need to be asked in the Black and Brown community so that we can begin to heal and begin to face some of the trauma that we've all had. But now we're back on this personal journey, and it's my personal journey, and you guys just so happen to be coming along. And hopefully, while I'm on my personal journey, you all are on your personal journey as well. And we can share some tips and some tools, and we can get through this together. And we are going to make sure we go through each and every area of healing from start to finish. And if there's something that you all want to bring up to me that needs to be discussed, we will go ahead and do that too. Last week, we had one of our favorite guests to the show. We had Coach Trev, who was on. Now, if you don't know Coach Trev wrote the book about not settling in finding a partner, and finding your match, and finding your love mate, and finding your spouse. And the book came out many, many years ago. However, I've learned so much from that book over the years. And for those of you who are avid watchers or listeners, you've heard me talk about it so much, just really chapter by chapter, because some of the things are basic, but sometimes it's some of those basic things that you didn't get before because maybe it didn't resonate with you before that you get later on in life, and you go, okay, that's what it meant, and now it's relevant in my life now, or pertains to something that I am going through now. You know what I mean? His book did that for me. Not all the points are basic, some, take some thought, but it completely changed my perception on myself, most importantly, and love and relationships and how to look for love. And granted, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get it right just because I read the book, but it did help. It did help to change my perspective and how I see some things. So I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And we had the pleasure of talking to him last week. And he will be back on the show next week. So we are going to continue on with our questions. And so if you all have any questions for him as being a specialist, as being a relationship coach, you guys can go ahead and send those to me, and I will make sure that we read them right here on the show, or even ask the question for you. You know what? Maybe we'll bring you on to the show. If you have a good, legitimate question for Coach Trev for next week, and you already know it ahead of time, something you want to talk about, something you've been dealing with, something you've been going through, something that you see somebody else going through, and you want to go ahead and ask that question, go ahead and send it to me. And maybe we can find a way to get you on camera too. I don't know. Jeff is going to kill me. I know Jeff is the producer. He's in the other room right now. I know he's going to kill me by saying I'm going to bring other people on camera along with Coach Trev for relationship coaching. But if we got some good questions ahead of time, I don't see why we can't bring people on camera with me. Right, Jeff? Right. He said right. He said right. He said right. So go ahead. Send me your questions, and we'll discuss it live with Coach Trev next week, everybody, because he was here last week, and he will be back next week. And then we could go ahead and get you all on camera. Oh, that just made me happy. Y'all see my shoulder dance? Y'all see my auntie shirt with my shoulders out? Anyway, so into tonight's topic, because tonight we are back on our healing journey, and we are going to continue on with this love journey for just a few more weeks, because it's not the most important relationship, but for a lot of us, our relationships, our romantic relationships, shall I say, and our love life is one of the most I'm going to say one of our highest priorities, right? Our children, we do what we got to do for our children. That becomes second nature to most of us, not all. And, dealing with your parents and your siblings and your work environment, coworkers, we work on that stuff too. But the partner that you choose really can kind of shape or make or break your life. And so with that being said, a lot of us prioritize our romantic relationships right up there at the top, along with raising our children, right? So because of that, and because we are on the healing journey, I want to continue on with the question that I asked Coach Trev last week about, is it possible? Okay, you all ready? Because, I don't have a drum roll. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Anyway, but I want to ask the question, is it possible, because we touched it briefly last week, is it possible to heal while in a relationship? What does that mean? Right? So most of us are not textbook whole by the time we get into relationships. And many of us are not. First of all, many of us don't know that we're broken. Many of us don't know that there's still so much work for us to do until we get in relationships, right? And what do I mean by that? A lot of times, we're just out living our lives, doing whatever it is that we need to do, making things happen, and for ourselves. So when it's just you, it's very easy to be, a pastor explained this to me once. When you're single, you are innately self-centered, right? And you're self-centered because there is no one else, if you don't have children or anybody else to take care of, there is no one else that takes you off of your center. You only have to focus on yourself. So I'm not saying it in a negative or a facetious way. I'm just saying, matter of factly, you only have to focus on you when you're single, for the most part. For those of us that don't have children or parents or somebody else that they have to take care of, you only have to focus on you. In that self-centeredness, you go about living life the way you see fit. Whatever's going on in your head, your thoughts, what feels comfortable to you, whatever it is you like to do, until you bring someone else into that circle that knocks you off the center. So now you have to be focused on someone else's feelings. You have to be focused on someone else's emotions. And even though that may not even be hard for most of us, the hardest part about getting into relationships is the ability to see ourselves in relation to someone else, right? The ability to see yourself in relation to someone else. And that is so hard for us because a lot of times we get into relationships and if anything at all goes wrong, most of us point the finger at the other person. Well, it's them because they said, they did, or they felt, or they, whatever it is they, and never, pointing the finger back at yourself, right? So I go back to my original question. When going into a relationship, and obviously you're not healed or you're not whole, maybe you're just a fraction of the person that you're going to be. Y'all see I'm thinking this out as I'm saying it to y'all, right? Maybe you're just a fraction of the person that you're going to be, or a fraction of the person that the relationship is going to create in you, right? Okay. So we go into relationships in fragments, right? We go into relationships in fragments, and the question is it possible to heal while in a relationship, or should you be healed before getting into a relationship? That is tonight's question, because we are on the healing journey, and we're talking about healing and love. And so because these relationships are priority in our life, it's important to not only have a healthy relationship with yourself, but have a healthy relationship with your partner. Now, this is honestly for people who want to be in relationships. For those of us that may not want to be in a relationship or don't care about being in a relationship, that is all fine, well and good. But for those of us that want to be in relationships, again, the question is it possible to heal while in a relationship, or do you heal in a relationship? I want you all to talk back to me, and I want you all to put that in the chat and let me know your thoughts. And I think we should just sit here and expound upon one way or another. Now, Coach Trev, who was on the show last week, mentioned dating, for those of all of us who are single, dating is like athletics, right? So he compares everything to sports. So he's always saying, listen, you have to practice. So by practicing, you have to date. You have to see what you want. You have to see how you respond. You have to see how you'll react to certain things. And you need numbers, quantity, to be able to see what it is you like, what it is that you don't like, because that helps to figure out you, right? Right. So with that being said, is it possible to heal when you're the only person looking in the mirror? Or are we only going to go with our own thoughts, our own actions, and what we believe or feel is right through our eyes, through our lenses? I want you all to think about that. Because you have so many people, especially now. Now, granted, I've been doing this whole podcasting, internet radio thing for a long time now, but over the last few years, there are so many podcasts to listen to. We kind of blew up in like 2019, 2020. Everybody started doing a show. Everybody and their mother literally has a show, whether it's out of their basement, out of their van, out of their whatever, out of their bedrooms. Everybody is doing a show now. But one main thing you will hear people say is you need to be healed before getting in a relationship. And again, my question is it possible? Or because here's what I'm coming up with, because I'm literally coming up with some sort of response as I am listening to you, right? I mean, as I'm talking to you all right now. So healing beforehand, my thing is, I think there is only so far that you can go with yourself. And hear me out. I know every self-help book that you all are reading is saying something different. And who are me? Because clearly I'm not an expert in no way, shape, or form. But who are me to say something different, right? But my thing is, I believe, and I actually believe this about just life in general too, but I believe by yourself, you're only going to go but so far. And why? And I'm not going to get all religious and start preaching to everybody about this is why God connects people and your blessings are through other people and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go into that, even though, that is a part of it all. But there's only so far you can go. Why? Because you will continue to think the same thoughts. And why? Rightfully so, because they're working for you as long as it's just you, right? As long as it's just you in your sphere, in your circle, with your actions, doing what you need to do for you, and it's working, why change the thought? This is how I do it. This is how it works. I get a great outcome. I'm going to continue on. It works. But when you get with someone else, what happens when you get with someone else and they challenge one of those thoughts that's been working for you personally, but doesn't necessarily work for your relationship, doesn't work for the we, doesn't work for the two of you combined? What is it that you do? And what if the thought you've been thinking and the actions that you have been executing are really toxic, not only for you, but for anybody that's around you? How would you know? Now, granted, if it's something that's completely like self-harming, or other people are saying to you, yeah, you should stop acting like this, or yeah, you should stop doing this. Okay, that's one thing. But what if this is just a personal thing? Like, let me give you an example. What if it's just, okay, well, I don't put the cheese in the refrigerator because I like it to sit out for a little while before eating it. I don't know, right? And let's say you live by yourself. You eat cheese as often as you want to, but it starts to mold. Yes, cheese is mold, but what if that's not good for you? Now you have somebody else who's coming into your life that's saying, hey, babe, maybe you should put the cheese in the fridge after the first half an hour. And now you're like, oh, how dare you? I have been leaving my cheese out for the last few years now. And this is how I do it. This is how I eat it. This is how I like it. It's ready and available. All I gotta do is come downstairs. I can grab a piece. It works in my schedule. It works for my life. And now you have someone who is coming into your circle that's saying, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do it like that. So then what do? Without another person coming into your circle, would you have known that cheese going bad that fast has been hurting you this long? Is it even possible for you to know that? Because it's working for you, you like it, it's fine, even though it is hurting you. My question is, and that's a very light example because I'm talking about cheese at this point, right? But my question is, I believe, my question is, again, is it possible to heal within your relationship, or do you heal before getting into the relationship? And again, what I'm coming to is there's only so far you can go into your healing, and there's some more healing that has to be done while you're in it. Now, is that going to hurt? Is that going to crush and bruise some egos? Absolutely. Because we are, man, when we feel like we know something, right? And especially it's about ourselves. And you're like, I know me. I know how I feel. I know how I do this. I've been doing this before you. Well, I mean, if you like me, I'll say something like, and I'll be doing it after you. You know what I mean? Just throwing jabs in that really don't need to be thrown because somebody's trying to really help you out. But my thing is, it's hard and it doesn't feel good at all. And it doesn't feel good because nobody wants to be corrected, especially at our ages, right? You know, and I've been saying this a lot lately, our big ages. At our big ages at this point, nobody wants to be corrected. You know what I mean? And getting into a relationship at this age, I feel like is so difficult. You know, when we were in our 20s, maybe even our early 30s, when everybody starts thinking about marriage, I feel like it is so much easier to get in and stay in a relationship because you're more, what's the word I'm looking for? Pliable, right? Can I use pliable in this context? You're more pliable with yourself, who you are, other people. You'll say, oh, yeah, okay, well, maybe I like that too. You're more apt to just taking on other people's stuff and other people's personalities and maybe even shifting yours a bit. But baby, something after 40 and even 50. Something after 40 and even 50, somebody come along and tell you to move your shoe. And you're like, I know you didn't. No, you got to go. Sorry, relationship is not going to work. This isn't it for me. I'm not doing it. It's over. It's absolutely over, right? Is that just me? You know what? I'm going to read some comments because apparently that might just be me. And I'm healing. Listen, I'm on the healing journey. I'm trying to tell y'all. This is where I am in my life. So, all right. So Lynn, hey Lynn, thank you for watching. Lynn said, I say yes, it is possible to heal while being in a relationship. Two things must happen. One, you must be open, ready, and accepting of change. Ooh, yes, ma'am. One, you must be open, ready, and accepting of change. And two, your partner must grant you room to heal and grow while being completely honest with each other. Absolutely, Lynn. And thank you for putting your comment in the chat. I completely agree with you. I think it is possible. But you know what, Lynn, because I'm saying it and you're saying it, you know, again, these self-help books and all these other podcasts that everybody else are listening to say something completely opposite and say something completely different, just so you know. They say, oh no, you got to be healed and you got to be whole before you meet your mate and before you meet your spouse. And what's another one that my darker hued people say all the time? Oh no, it's not 50-50. It's 100-100 because I came into this relationship 100% and you got to come in here. Stop. Stop, people. Stop. This is why we are on this personal healing journey right now. Stop. That is not real. That is not reality. That is not life. We all got some ish with us. I said I wasn't cursing this week, so that's why I didn't say the real word. But we all got some ish with us that is not going to get addressed until you have a partner that is standing in front of you like a mirror that is going to help you. If it's a healthy relationship, they're going to help point it out for you. Now, if you got a good partner, you got a real partner, and you're in a healthy relationship, they can help point it out for you. And not just so that they are pointing fingers or saying, look what you did and look how you are, but because they are trying to help you to heal. Just like Lynn said. She said, while being completely honest with each other and giving each other room to grow. So I thank you for your comment, Lynn. I feel like that was right on point. And Jamila said, I actually read something about this today. I think you can start healing while you are single, but Your healing will be tested when you are in a relationship. Absolutely. Will be tested while you are in a relationship. You may start to develop the tools necessary to navigate your healing, but I do not. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got a paragraph here. Ow. Wait a minute. Hold on. I had to open it up. Y'all know I'm trying to multitask right now. She said, you may start to develop the tools necessary to navigate your healing, but I do not believe it is possible to completely heal before getting into a relationship. Yahtzee. It's like learning a new skill set for a job. You will not know how good the training was until you start the job. Absolutely. So this brings me to the next part of what I wanted to talk about, because I mentioned this last week when talking to Coach Trev. Why is it? And I am only going to talk to, I can't even say black and brown folks for this next part, because honestly, it's not black and brown folks. Sisters, it's just us that do this foolery and foolishness. Why we got to take years at a time to heal? What is this about? I need somebody to help me with this, because it's only us. It's only us. And I say I can't even say black and brown folk because it ain't Latin women. It ain't Latin women that's like, I'm going to take 2 years to heal and get myself together. No, and no. It's not Caucasian women, because I have witnessed firsthand them go from divorce to relationship with stepkids in a matter of 6 months, or 3 even. It ain't them. It's not Asian women. And you know what? It's not even all my darker hued folks. It ain't African women. It's not Caribbean women. It is us. It is African American women that all of a sudden, after a breakup, after the end of a relationship, or as Tia Mowry put it, a graduation. We got to talk about that one day too, because baby, all of that is something else. But it's us. It's African American women that want to take this healing time period. Now, I know I'm not the only person that has heard this. So, I mean, you guys can chime in on that too. But it's only us that feels like we got to take this extended amount of time to heal. And so much so that there's jokes about it on social media. There's all kind of memes that, black women will break up and have a degree, a house, a business, and this, that, or the other in a matter of blah, blah, blah months after a breakup, because she got to do all this healing by herself. Child. Here's my thing with that. I'm not mad at anybody that's trying to level up in life, because that's what we're supposed to do. You were supposed to level up. And even in your friendships, even in your family, you should be checking each other, making sure, and even in this sisterhood thing that we all have, you should be checking each other to make sure that we are consistently leveling up and not remaining stagnant in any area of our lives, right? Okay. We got that part, right? So you want to go get that other degree? Go ahead and take your time, girl. Get that other degree. You want to go buy that house? Go ahead, girl. Take your time. Go ahead and buy that house. You want to open or start that business? Go ahead, girl. Go ahead and start that business. But please, 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 please do not think that you achieving those things is a part of your healing in a relationship. And now all of a sudden you are so quote unquote whole that when you get into the next relationship, now all of a sudden you are perfect because you did the work. How many times have we heard that? How many times have you heard somebody say that? Or have you said that yourself? Oh, no. I worked on me because I did A, B, C, and D. So it's not even possible that it could be me in this relationship at all that's causing the problem. Ladies, sisters. Let's stop that. Because yes, it is possible to work on yourself. And I'm one of these people that has done that myself. It is possible to work on yourself. It is possible to level up. It is possible to go to therapy, work through a lot of your issues. I have done that myself now. Hey, I'm still in therapy. I listen. I'm one of these people that is a huge advocate for therapy, life coaches, relationship coaches, all those people that can help and be assistants so that you are the best version of you in this life while we have it. I'm an advocate for all of that. So trust me, this isn't a go to therapy like that's a negative thing. No. I see a therapist every Friday. Trust me. But my thing is, it is possible to work on yourself in every way possible that you know how to do for your life as it stands right now. That's without anybody else in it. Without anybody else in it, it is possible for you to work on yourself in every area where you see work needs to be done. That is absolutely possible. But that does not mean that you are now going to meet somebody, get in a relationship, and now you are Queen of Sheba because you went to therapy, because you leveled up, because you are now this businesswoman. It does not mean that. It does not mean that. And why? Because there's going to be some healing that you have to have through other people. Ooh, did I just preach a word? I feel like this is when the pastor be like, I don't think y'all hear me. You know what I mean? When pastors start doing that in church, I feel like that was just that moment. But there is going to be some healing that is only going to come through other people. There are going to be some things that you're not going to see until someone else brings it to light for you. And it could be within you. It could be something that's within you that you can't see until somebody else brings it to your attention. And it would be impossible for you to see on your own until you have a healthy partner standing in front of you that is bringing it to your attention. Because let's face it, a lot of times when we don't have healthy partners, you know what I mean? We see some things, but we don't really trust what they say in no way. But when you have a healthy partner that is standing in front of you, and I didn't say a perfect partner. I did not say a perfect partner, maybe perfect for you, but I didn't say a perfect individual, but I'm just saying a healthy partnership. A healthy partnership is going to bring some things out of you that you didn't even know that you needed to work on. And guess what? That's how it's supposed to be. Otherwise, why do you need them? What is the point? How do you grow together without that? It's impossible to grow with someone with just all good times all the time. That's not growth. That's fun. And let's face it, life isn't just all about fun. That's not what it is. And especially not in a partnership, especially not in a marriage, right? Just doesn't make sense. Sean, hey, what's up, Sean? Sean said, yep. All the time, both ways. So I guess, Sean, what you're referring to is the healing before the relationship and in the relationship. Yes, I guess that's what she's talking to. Norm is chiming in. Norm says, I love the shirt. Thank you. Oh, he's talking to Sean. Oh, quick shout out to my sister-in-law, Sean. I know you guys saw a couple of weeks ago, I wore the Monaco hoodie that stands for More to Come, which I feel like is representative of what we're talking about on this new healing journey. Obviously, there's going to be more to come because we're going to keep working and we're going to keep grinding and we're going to keep pouring into ourselves and learning. So the shirt is a representative of that. And I have my hoodie that you will all see me wear again sometime. And Norman has a shirt too. So he was just saying thank you to Sean for that. Sean, we have to have you on the show so you can talk about more to come. Sometime in the future. But anyway, so that's what's going on in the comments. But back to you guys right here, right? The question was, for all of you who are just tuning in, Whether you're watching me on YouTube, if you're watching me on Facebook, if you're listening to me on TuneIn. And hey, to all of my new Spotify folks who are just getting to learn the show, just getting to know me and all of the things that we are talking about. My question for tonight, because we are talking about the healing journey, was, do you heal while in a relationship, or should you be healed before getting into a relationship? That was tonight's question. And we had a lot of great comments, a few great comments that came in on Facebook. So if you guys wanted to talk to me, or if you wanted to give me your input on this particular topic, go on ahead over to Facebook, go to O.W.W.H.H, and the show is live right there. And you guys can type in the chat, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about, maybe you have a different opinion. And that's possible, and that's okay here. You know what I mean? This is a safe space. You can have whatever opinion that you want here. This is a completely safe space. Maybe, and again, rightfully so, because everything that you hear from us as a people, what you hear in their culture, what you hear in barbershops, what you hear in beauty salons, what you read in a lot of books that were written maybe a few years back, everything that you're seeing on social media. And let's not act like because we are people of a certain age that social media is not dictating life and how we think and feel for a lot of us. And for most, if you just are scrolling before bed one night, every message that you're going to get about relationships are, you need to be whole and you need to be completely healed before dating. You need to be whole and you need to be completely healed before getting into a relationship. And you need to be whole and you need to be completely healed definitely before marriage. And granted, I get the schematics and that. I get where that comes from. I get where that thought comes from. But my question is that realistic? Don't judge me. Don't judge me, people. The question is that realistic? And the fact of the matter is that it can't be. So for my men out here who are watching, let's take basketball players. Let's take basketball players. You can practice in the gym all you want. And this goes to Coach Trev's point from last week. You can practice in the gym all you want. You can practice your shot. You can practice running up and down the court. You can practice, your assists, you can, all of that, all the terminology that I probably don't currently know about basketball right now, but you can practice all of that by yourself in the gym day and night to perfect you. And it's good, and you should. I'm not saying that you should not. You should. You should be doing that part of the work too, right? But that's only part of the work, because as soon as there's a game, as soon as you have teammates and as soon as you have opponents, you don't know what everyone else around you is going to do. It's impossible for you to know what everyone else around you is going to do. They're not going to do what's going on in your head. They're not going to do everything exactly as you practiced by yourself. So if that is logical, and it doesn't make sense with a sports reference, then why is that so far off when it comes to relationships? For the ladies, you can go to cosmetology school. You can practice cutting hair, giving a perm. You can do your pin curls, your S curls. You can do all of that on your mannequin all you want. And you could go ahead and get a cosmetology license. How do I know? Because I did it, right? So you can do all of that and you can practice on that mannequin. But baby, let somebody like me come sitting in your chair whose hair is not going to do exactly what that mannequin hair did. That pin curl ain't going to come out the same. That S curl ain't going to come out the same. That cut ain't going to come out the same on every single head. It's not going to look the same. And you can practice, and you're supposed to practice. You should be practicing. But once you bring somebody else into the picture, it changes your outcome. You should be doing the work for you, but bringing somebody else in the picture means there's going to be more that you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn how to become adaptable. You're going to have to adapt. And all of that, I ain't changing for nobody. I would never change for nobody. I'm who I am, and they got to accept this and they got to accept that. Child. When you're on the healing journey, that don't always work. Now, there's some things about you that's absolutely not going to change. There's some things that are characteristics, not just attitudes, but your core characteristics. Those things that are about you are not going to change. And no, they should not change for anyone whatsoever. But toxic traits, acts, and attitudes, those are probably things that we should be working on. Those actions that are not serving you or serving the new relationship that you're in, those are probably the ones that should be worked on. No one's saying, I don't want you to be friendly anymore. Now, you get into a relationship and someone's saying, you're too friendly. I don't want you to be friendly anymore. You're trying to change a core characteristic in somebody else. You may need to choose another partner as opposed to trying to change that within your partner, because we all know that can lead to a whole host of issues for trying to change a core characteristic in somebody. And you shouldn't want to do that either. But my point is, back to my references with hair and back to my references with basketball, is you should be practicing on your own. But practice on your own with the awareness that once you get with someone else, there's more work to do. It's not, I'm healed and I'm whole because I worked on myself and that's just it, and there's nothing more for me to do. No. We have to stop thinking like that. On this healing journey, if I can stop anybody from thinking like that, then I've done my job, because that's not what it is and that's not how it goes. What it is I am working on myself. I know that I want a partner. This isn't a period. This is a comma. I've worked on myself thus far, comma. I will continue to do more work in this relationship. I've healed from this bit of trauma from my life, from my childhood, from previous relationships, comma, and I will continue to work on, am I on here sounding absolutely illiterate? Because you don't put a comma and, you put comma. Anyway, the whole point is it's a continuation on, it's not a period, right? It's, I have worked on, confronted, faced, done shadow work through past traumas from whatever it is, parents, children, exes, spouses. This happened to me. That dramatic event happened to me. That traumatic event happened to me. And I still want to be in a relationship with somebody, so I know that work isn't done. I know there's more work for me on the other side of this relationship. And again, with a good partner, with a healthy partner, with a loving partner, you should be able to listen to them enough, hear them out enough to know that they only want the best for you. And whatever it is that they're saying to you, because a good partner is literally like holding up a mirror to you so that you can see yourself. And so with that good partner saying things to you from a healthy space, hopefully you will be able to hear them and continue on in your healing journey. Because let's be honest about this, right? Even though I'm talking about this personal healing journey, this isn't something that just started in me or you or any of us. The healing journey doesn't mean that you had to have an absolutely terrible life or a bunch of traumatic events, but life is life, and life is going to happen, and there's going to be things that are going to hurt our feelings. There's going to be things that happen that we don't understand. There are going to be things that happen that you just have to heal from. Some things we caused ourselves. Ooh, that's another show. That is another show. Some things we have to heal from, we did cause ourselves. And some things we have to heal from just wasn't our fault. Life, bad things happen to good people all the time. It's life. A lot of it is for a reason. A lot of it is for a purpose, and most of it isn't in vain. It's not. But even though it doesn't feel good, and even though we don't want it to happen, yeah. But the point is, is that if you have a good and loving partner and you trust that they have your best interest at heart and you trust what they're saying is coming from a healthy space, you should probably try to do your best to hear them out. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'll just go back to my cheese reference. I mean, you want to continue to eat your moldy cheese because you figure cheese is mold and you've been doing it like this forever. Go right on ahead. I mean, that's until you get to the doctor and they tell you something different than your partner said. But my point is that if you have a healthy partner that is trying to pour into you, if you have a healthy partner that has your best interest at heart and it's not one-sided viewpoint of theirs, then you should probably listen to them. Because this is the healing journey. And the healing journey includes love. The healing journey, not only self-love, because obviously that's most important, but the healing journey for most of us involves finding partnership. Or if you already found your partnership, having a healthy partnership. Right? So I asked the question at the beginning of the hour, should you be completely healed before getting into a relationship? And I think the answer that we all have come to tonight, and thank you to Lynn, and thank you to Jamila, and thank you to Sean, and thank you to Norm, I think the answer is no. So I think when we're having these conversations in barbershops and we're having these conversations at beauty salons and cookouts and you're talking to the next generation, those millennials, or you're seeing those memes on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and those memes that, heal before you get into a relationship. Yes, but heal as much as you can. Heal as much as you possibly can through therapy. Through forgiveness, through talking things out with some of those who have been with you along your journey and who have been with you in life, through journaling. And I told you I'm not even going to get crunchy granola on y'all and say through yoga, because a lot of people don't believe in yoga. I completely understand that. But through prayer, through worship, through meditation, with whatever it is you believe in, God, universe, aliens, everybody has their own beliefs. Mine personally is God. But through your walk with God, through your walk with, getting to know your inner self, do the work within you first, but know that that's not the end. You don't get to put a period because you worked on you by yourself. And that's a common misconception, especially in our Black folk. I'm talking to y'all, especially in our community. Common misconception is that you can put a period after the work that you've done, the leveling up that you've done. I did this so I don't have to do any more. No. Let's remove that period, y'all. Let's remove that period and put an and. Let's remove that period and put a comma, because y'all see I didn't get that grammatically correct before, but whatever. We'll talk about that another time. The point is, remove the period. And just know you can only go but so far by yourself. And if you choose to want to be with a partner, there's going to be more on the other side of that. And hopefully you choose a right partner for you, that, a right partner for you that is going to help you. Oh, shout out to Kyra, who is just joining the chat, Kyra said, but before all of that, you have to acknowledge that you need to heal. Everyone isn't ready or prepared to dig deep within themselves to properly heal. Absolutely. And that is why we are here. And that is why we are talking about the healing journey. And that is why I am completely transparent and have been sharing my stories with you, even though I've only just been sharing my stories for the last year with everything I've gone through and been completely transparent with that on my healing journey and my therapy and all of that. My goal is that you all share that back with me and we can just continue to move forward and continue to heal together. Because again, this healing journey isn't one that's going to end with love or partnership. It's not going to end with a business. It's not going to end with a child. It's not going to end. You're going to continue to heal for the rest of your life. You're going to continue to have new thoughts or new feelings about something for the rest of your life. So, since we're coming to the end of my show, I'm inviting all of you to come on this healing journey with me. So for those who have been watching on a weekly basis since we restarted again back in March, you know we're all about this. This is what we're on. This is it, y'all. This is it. We're going to be talking about the healing journey in every single area for the duration of this show. I mean, I guess until I decide to change it to something else. But in the meantime, that is what we are on. But I want to say, as I always do, as we're coming to the end of the show, if you watch me on YouTube, if you watch me on Facebook, if you listen to me on TuneIn, or if my new audience listening to me on Spotify, thank you all. I love you all for watching. I love you all for listening. Shout out to everyone who had comments in the chat and had an input in this conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all so much. Next week, we are going to have Coach Trev, the relationship coach, back in the show with us. And if you all have a question that you would like to ask, go ahead and send it to me ahead of time before next week. And maybe I can get you guys on camera for the show. If you want to be, only if you want to be, on camera for the show next week, along with Coach Trev, so that you can ask the question personally. So is that a deal? If that's a deal, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end my show. Love you guys for watching. Love you guys for listening. God willing, I will be here next week. Same time, same place. Different show. Love you. Bye, everybody.